Coming up on City Spotlight, the second half of Season 8 begins on location in Martinsville. We'll talk with the mayor of Martinsville, Herman Davidson, and Brenda Littlejohn of Martinsville on the Move about how the community of Martinsville is doing 2 years into the pandemic, an update on businesses and public works, and thoughts on one of the latest additions to the community, the Woodlands. We're back on location and talking Martinsville next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we're on location for this episode. First time taping here at City Hall in Martinsville. Yes, we're back here in Martinsville as we tape here on February 23rd, 2022. And we welcome back to the program the mayor of Martinsville, Herman Davidson. Herman, great to see you again.
Great seeing you again.
Appreciate it. First time we had Herman on was on the first episode we ever did on Martinsville. It was back in the studios of WEIU, but we're glad to be here at City Hall. And it has been a while since we've talked, Herman, and obviously the pandemic has been going on. So just give me your overall thoughts on the community 2 years into this pandemic.
I think the community's tried to do the best they can with the pandemic in that we're a strong rural community and people help each other and that. And we tried to work with our community and make it more easier for them and that. And we know we had some issues with the COVID and that and the mask mandate. So we worked with the restaurants and allowing them to have outdoor dining, and then they were having pickup orders and that. So we're in a small town, we need to maintain our small businesses and that.
Good to see some flexibility there by everyone there to make it work the best they can. I've asked this to a variety of community leaders over the last 2 years, mayors such as yourself. How challenging has it been to lead a community during this pandemic?
And in the last couple of years, it's been very challenging because at some points we closed City Hall because of the sickness and that and the infection and that. And we were running into, we have a small workforce here in Martinsville, and we were at the point where we were down to one employee.
Oh, wow. Tough sledding there. Thank you for that very candid comment. Well, let's get caught up on some recent things that you've been working on. You kind of alluded to your businesses and how important they are and how you had to change how things were conducted. How are your businesses doing, and what are the prospects for any new businesses?
I think the business is doing fine. We've had Barlow's, they've changed hands. It's still a restaurant. The North Place has come in within the last year, and then the convenience store that used to be the Marty Mart has changed hands to a new owner, and they're still open. The last time you were here, Talley's Automotive was building out there, and they're now in business out there with car repairs and that. And
also seems to be a new name to one of the restaurants. Was it Ms. Barlow's?
Yes, it used to be Miss Barlow's. It's now the Barnyard and that. So
thought the signage looked a little different.
Yeah, everything's. We're trying to maintain what we got and trying to make some improvements in the community.
And I do believe it was mentioned not too long after I taped with you, which was a few years back, that you had one of your larger businesses in the community ended up closing. So
yes.
Update us on that location.
Okay, the foundry closed, and we were hoping that they were able to find a buyer, because that's a large facility that they were dealing in counterweights and that. And luckily enough, ID Castings bought the facilities and that. And it's been a great addition to Martinsville.
Good to hear stories about buildings being repurposed. If someone leaves, it's tough to see communities that have just a building just sitting there, but you're able to find somebody else to move in and continue a business. Very good. can't not go talking a City Spotlight episode without talking about public works with the mayor, such as Herman. What are some of your recent public works projects you have going on?
In the last year, we had motor fuel money. We resurfaced part of our street, North York Street, that goes from Route 40 out to the interstate that was in bad shape. So it's in decent shape, and we're hoping with more motor fuel money that we'll be able to do some more work in that.
And we were talking off camera, mentioned something about your water tower.
Yeah, we've been working for almost 4 years on a water tower to replace our old 10-man water tower, which is, we had to take out of service almost a year ago because
now that, for those folks at home that have driven to Martinsville through, that's not the little blue one. That's the other one.
Yeah, it's the other one.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good. I think a perfect segue for Public Works is to talk about maybe a little bit about what we're going to talk about in our next segment. I'm going to interview Brenda Littlejohn of Martinsville on the Move and the addition of the Woodlands to the community. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's great to have it in the community. It's got the walking trails, some activities for the kids to do. They're getting ready to put exercise equipment in there for along the trails that you can walk the trails plus do some exercising.
Fantastic. Great to have outdoor facilities like that. Also, you have Lynn Park there. I think the locations are relatively close, so great to have those additions. And what do those, and we're going to talk to Brenda Littlejohn a little bit more in depth about this, but get your comments on having a facility like the Woodlands for, looks like everyone to enjoy, and Lynn Park. For a community of this size to have those kind of quality of life things as we talked about in the community, it must be a great shot in the arm.
It is to have both parks and that. The Woodland Park has the walking trails where you don't have to worry about traffic. You can take the kids, they can play up there, and you can walk on the trails, or you can take a book and sit on one of the benches and read the book.
On a nicer looking day than today.
Yes, it's very cold today in that. And the Lynn Park, it's a great addition with the outdoor amphitheater and that. And, you know, and I know the last couple of years with COVID, it's really hurt the people that wanted to come out and listen to it. So I'm hoping this year with the lifting of these mandates and that, you know, it'll start bringing more people back in the community to listen to these good programs that the foundation puts on.
Well, we'll have more on Lynn Park and the new outdoor facility, the Woodlands, with Brenda Littlejohn here in just a little bit. I want to just briefly get your comments on having a group like Martinsville on the Move. Communities of this size, to have a champion or group that is enthusiastic about the community to help better in any way. What's that like to have a group like that in the community?
Every community needs a base of people that can help and work with the community and the municipality in that. And Martinsville on the Move has been a great addition to Martinsville with the people that work in it and help do projects that assist the community in cleaning and things like that.
And Brenda Littlejohn is a part of that, so we'll get more on that group there. And what a catchy title, Martinsville on the Move.
Yeah.
It just comes right off the tongue there. Herman, that's really all I have listed on my list of questions for you at this time. I know there's a lot of the year left as folks at home are seeing this for the first time, March of 2022. What's something or some things that you're looking forward to the rest of the year?
The rest of the year, we'd like to do some more road work. We're going to start replacing some of the sidewalks in each ward, and hopefully they'll get better. And some of our curbs are bad, and we're going to work on them this summer and that. And we've got some new equipment that's going to help us probably work more efficient on a lot of these projects and that.
It's great to be back in Martinsville. Our last few episodes here on Martinsville have kind of focused on the education. I know the schools are very important to the community of Martinsville. And is there anything else you'd like to add here as we close?
Well, as you're talking about the school, I'd like to say how the backbone of the community depends on the school.
Right.
And we need to keep our schools in our communities to keep the communities alive in that. Because when the schools are gone, the communities are drifting apart in that.
Great to hear your comment on the schools, since we've had a few episodes where we're focused mostly on the schools in Martinsville, but great to hear your comments. Herman, second time on the program, getting us caught up on the community, and hopefully the next time that we talk, things are back to whatever normal is.
I hope so. I hope so.
We appreciate another time here on City Spotlight, the Mayor of Martinsville, Herman Davidson. Pleasure as always, sir. Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll change locations and talk with Brenda Littlejohn of Martinsville on the Move. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Martinsville. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this new on-location episode on Martinsville. As you can see, we have changed locations. We are taping inside the dressing room at the Lynn Park Amphitheater. We are dressed for the elements. It is a little chilly in here on this February 23rd that we're taping at here in Martinsville. We are pleased to welcome back to the program to help us out in this segment, Brenda Littlejohn of Martinsville on the Move. Brenda, it's great to have you on the program again.
Thank you for asking.
We had Brenda on our very first Martinsville episode a few years back, so it's great to be back talking with Brenda. And Martinsville on the Move has kept active since we last talked. For our audience at home, since it's been a little while since you and I talked on this program, remind them at home what is Martinsville on the Move? What is it all about?
Well, Martinsville on the Move was started in 2009 when a group of citizens, I guess you'd say, although we don't all live in Martinsville, we live in the community surrounding, decided that we would work together to try to make Martinsville an even better place to bring your families, to invite families to come live and raise their children.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. I figured we'd start our conversation by talking about this place that we're taping at. We talked with Brenda last time about Lynn Park and what it provides to the community. You told us about this place in the first time we talked with you. Seen many other communities in Central Illinois that have open venues like this, including we mentioned before we started talking. I believe Charleston and Mattoon have similar looking amphitheaters. What is the role of this park to this community?
Well, we wanted it to be a gathering place, some place where the community could come together for events to just have to use if they want to. We've had several different kinds of events here, plus there have been reunions. We even had a memorial service here.
Wow.
So there have been prayer meetings, there have been worship meetings, school events.
Okay. Kind of answered my next question, what things are held here. Of those things that have been held here, are you looking for any different types moving forward, or have you been pretty happy with the types of things that you've been able to have here?
Well, we love having the events, the concerts that we sponsor, Martinsville and the Move sponsors.
Right.
They're actually, we have our schedule ready for next year, next summer, and we're cutting the schedule down to 2 a month.
Okay.
Last year we did almost weekly, and that was just a little too much for us. But we would be glad for other people in the community to use it for other things.
I was going to ask you about what's next for Martinsville on the Move and the things that you schedule. Maybe we'll revisit that at the very end to remind our folks at home what they can check out. Obviously, we're 2 years into this COVID-19 pandemic. I would imagine you've probably had to scale back. You've had to scale back a little bit. How have you been able to use this facility while all this has been going on?
Well, actually, we haven't had to scale back.
You haven't? Okay.
It's amazing, but our mayor has been very supportive and said we could go ahead and have our events because they're outside and people could social distance if they wanted to or wear masks, whatever they wanted. So we continued to have all of our events the last 2 years.
Okay, very good. In a community of this size, this is not to make fun of smaller communities, but everybody knows everybody knows everything that's going on. What comments have you heard about this venue, and are they happy that it's here and what it provides?
There are many people who love it. They say they look forward to finding out what's going to be the next week and all of those things. We are a little disappointed that more people in Martinsville haven't come. We have so many people from outside Martinsville.
Really?
From Paris, from Charleston, from Casey, from Marshall. And so we're hoping that we can stir up more interest in the community here too.
I don't think that's necessarily a very bad thing. You have people coming regardless, but that's pretty neat that you have people from that far away coming to check out the park here in Martinsville, and obviously it brings them to Martinsville so they get to check out other things. All right, so as we tape here in late February 2022, within this past year, something else has been given to the folks here in Martinsville to use outdoors. Tell us about the Woodlands and what was the idea behind this?
Well, in 2020, in April, Littlejohn Grain approached Martinsville on the Move and asked if we'd be interested in receiving 5 acres that they owned to develop a park.
Right.
And so our committee decided that was a great idea. We took it to the city. They thought that would be good. And so we began developing it. It was probably June when we began then. By mid-summer, we had walking paths developed, and Kurt Finney has built us some wood exercise balance equipment. Then we had the idea that we could maybe make a hillside slide. Actually, it was our grandson Daniel who had that idea, and so I started looking at it, and so we talked to Mark Snyder in Marshall, and he built this slide for us. Wow. And after that, we decided a 200-foot zip line sounded like fun. So once we looked into that, we decided to make it a double zip line. So the whole idea of the park when we started was to make it a fun place for adults, because there are very few places that adults can come to have fun.
So it's a venue for everyone.
Yes. So kids can, of course, come. Kids always can come to parks. But adults sometimes are excluded, I'd say, from little kids' parks.
We're taping here this segment with Brenda at Lynn Park. Brenda, if folks are at home or are just now hearing about the Woodlands for the first time, where is the Woodlands from relative to Lynn Park? Where is the location at?
It's just a few 100 feet to the east and across the street.
You mentioned the construction process, so the idea started April of 2020. You got going in June, and you opened a year later?
We actually opened as soon as we started. I mean, after we did the surveys and everything, we made it available, and then began to put like the walking paths, and people began to use it. And then the slide was completed, I think it was November. Okay. And then we started the zip line, which we hoped to have done last May when we did have our open house. But we didn't get to open the zip line until June.
You mentioned the different types of things that are taking place there at the Woodlands. Looking to add any more, or are you pretty happy with where it's at right now?
Well, we're adding more. We have had our adult exercise equipment has been delivered. We don't have it installed yet, but we have plans to install it as soon as the weather makes it possible.
That might help you out there. Cold weather is kind of hard to do things.
And then we're also adding outdoor musical instruments, and those are just coming in now. I'm getting shipments every day.
I'm a big music fan, and
I
can play a music instrument. Tell us one of the musical instruments that you're thinking about.
Well, these are like xylophones, drums.
Okay. Yeah.
They have their own hammers attached so that anybody can play them. One of the instruments is color-coded to a book, so it even has songs that you can play.
Fantastic.
We're hoping to have a little concert of people who can play these so that others can see how much fun it is to play them together.
Similar question to what we talked about with Lynn Park. You've had people from other communities check it out so far?
We have.
And what are their thoughts?
They all love it. I've seen comments on their Facebook pages. People have sent me their comments. I don't do Facebook, but they have showed me. And they all say it's a really fun park.
Something else new to this community. I don't know how many new things we'll find. We talked with Mayor Davidson in the previous segment, but to get something new in a community of this size, it has to just bring a happy face to everyone that we have something new here.
I think it is.
Okay.
Also, a thing that we added to the Woodlands was a sledding hill.
Oh, wow.
Because Martinsville didn't have any place for sledding.
Really? Okay.
So now, I think that was pretty much used last week, I heard.
Okay. You guys built something. You said you had a gentleman from Marshall help build the slide.
And he also built the towers for the zip line.
Wow. You did all this while during the pandemic, so you were able to, interesting times, but you were able to add something to the community. That's pretty remarkable. So we've talked about Lynn Park, we've talked about the Woodlands. What does that say about Martinsville to have two outdoor venues like this? I mean, not every community could have a place like Lynn Park. And then you build a place like the Woodlands, that's another kind of outdoor activity. What do these two venues say about Martinsville?
Well, I believe it says that we are very interested in places to gather, places to have fun, places to encourage family activities. And we love having visitors and share that with us. So.
Excellent. Something we've talked about here on City Spotlight is adding things like this and improving the quality of life in the community. So, and these two places are right next to each other, so you could probably visit and enjoy them both in the same day.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure.
You mentioned near the beginning of the interview about you're already ready to roll out what your activities you're going to have moving forward. Not to put you on the spot, but we've had the upcoming activities graphic recently in the program. So what can we expect from Martinsville on the Move and/or activities that are going to take place here at Lynn Park in the warmer months?
Well, beginning June, I think it's the 4th, it's that first Saturday anyway. We're having man, his name is Terry Lee Goffy, and he's a Johnny Cash impersonator.
Wow.
And he, I guess, is one of the top ones in the nation. He just got off of a tour of Ireland where he was able to have a great crowd, I heard. And then we'll have Trouble and Company on the 25th, or at least these are the Saturdays. I may be getting the days a day or two off. And then Lloyd Wood will come in July the first time, and 5 Mile Train, which we've not heard, but I hear they're very popular in Charleston area. Mm-hmm. And then Sisters and Company are coming the 1st of August, and Dennis Stromat the last of August, and then we're having Scott Waddles and the Blue Suede Crew the September 10th. So that's our last one.
Must be a great feeling that you can get acts from wherever. You mentioned Charleston, wherever. Must make you feel really good that you're able to bring probably a very diverse group of musicians to this community.
And what is so fun for me is how much they like to come. Because once they've been here, then they're always asking if they can come back.
You're hooked.
Yeah, so that's great.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. Figured I'd ask you before we finished our interview. You're a part of the community, part of Martinsville on the Move, helping improve the community. Just wanted to get your overall thoughts on the community here. Every community has been impacted differently by the pandemic, but how would you say the community has gotten through this to this point?
Well, I feel that we've done very well. Most of the businesses are thriving. There has not been nearly the restrictions that there have been in larger cities. Mm-hmm. And so I think we're doing good.
Okay, very good. Appreciate your comment on that. If someone is watching this and we've been talking about the community of Martinsville here, and maybe they're hearing about Martinsville, Illinois for the first time, or maybe they used to be in the area. What do you think people should know about this community outside of the things that we've talked about? What's something that you're most proud of this community that you'd like to share with our audience?
Well, I think it is a family-oriented community, and people care about their kids, care about what's going on here. Mm-hmm. There are some new things that are coming to the town, I've heard. Also, there's going to be a bike path on a wooded property the east of town. Okay. That it can also be used as it's a mountain biking path, but can also be used for walking. And then we're going to be part of the Old National Road Trail. It's going to go right through Martinsville. So
wonderful. Route 40 right there on the northern part of
Right.
Martinsville. All these communities that they can say that they're a national road community. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you'd like to share with our audience at home?
Well, I can't think of anything. No, you've been very thorough in your questions.
Oh, and you've answered them wonderfully, and again, congratulations on this latest edition with the Woodlands, and hopefully we've had some visuals to share with you on that. And so, outdoor venues, Lynn Park, the Woodlands, part of the Martinsville community for folks in Martinsville and other places to enjoy. Brenda Littlejohn of Martinsville on the Move, congrats on all that you've done here, and we appreciate your second time here on City Spotlight.
Well, thank you for asking. We appreciate your helping us get the word out about our community.
Glad to be here again. Thank you. And that'll do it for this latest On Location episode on Martinsville. Thanks for watching City Spotlight. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central and Southeastern Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.